Now reporting, David Muir.
Good evening, and we're coming on the air at this hour with breaking news after the U.S. warned all day of a full-scale Russian invasion of Ukraine, that it was imminent. Vladimir Putin has just addressed the Russian people moments ago, announcing what Putin called the start of a military special operation, in his words, to demilitarize Ukraine.
The invasion started exactly as the way they predicted, with cyber attacks, with electronic warfare.
Major news. After days on a razor's edge, Ukraine is now a nation at war.
This is what the merciless bombardment of a city looks like, and how it sounds.
On morning of 24th of February, it started at, for me, my morning started at 6 a.m. with literally a war plane, like a very, very big combat plane just flying over my house, probably something like 200 meters in height. It was very scary, and after that I had some explosions very close. Hello, my name is Dmytro. I am 18 years old. In Ukraine, I lived in a city named Zaporizhia. It's on the southeast of Ukraine. I came to Ireland with my mom. It was a long way. We went through Poland to get here on a plane. I was very lucky that I got here in the first place because, yes, at the moment when I came here, I was 17 and I turned 18 recently, so I almost quite literally dodged the bullet.
My name is Nelly Shilova. I'm from Yalta. It is the most southern town in Ukraine. I live in a very small village in Kilmokridge, so there are kind of 700 people here. And I think this village is rather special because, I talk to people from other places and so on. And the community is here quite strong. There are few, like 10, 20 or more people who solve all community problems and everything. And when we arrived, it was very touching how they took care of us.
I live here in Kilmokridge, which is part of Gorey in County Wexford. For a living, I'm a local county councillor for this area. And part of that job was to set up a support group for the Ukrainian families when they came into this community. And we set that up way back in the earlier stages of the crisis. So we set up the Friends of Ukraine Kilmokridge, and as a result of that, we've been supporting the families who are living here in the hotel here and in the community of Kilmokridge. I think from the very start of us, what something that came across to me very strongly was they all wanted to feel that they were part of the Irish society. They didn't want to seem as if they were here sponging off the state, that they didn't want to feel it was like charity. They wanted to work, they wanted to contribute, they wanted to be able to make their own living. They wanted to do what they had to do for their own families.
You've lost everything you had. For example, I'm 36 years old and I have to leave my husband, my cat, my apartment, my job, everything, my friends, my relatives, and I came here. It was like brand new life. I had just my kids to one suitcase, and that's all. And even I took groceries cards instead of my debit cards.
The loneliness is hard for anybody, no matter who you are. But for Ukrainian families, they're trying to get over the loss that they've left behind them. And that's creating a loneliness in itself. And then the loneliness of being in an area like this, which is rural, to try, how do you meet people if you've no transport? So you're going to experience that loneliness. I think one of the advantages, or one of the good things with the supports that are in place is organised activities. They're organising events, activities, groups. I know here in Kilmokridge, some of the ladies have integrated with the local ladies group. They have a knitting club, and some of the older ladies who are experiencing that loneliness come down once a week and they join in with them. There's clubs and organisations for the children to join. So loneliness, no matter who you are, if you experience it, sometimes means people checking in on you, having supports in place that somebody will recognise that maybe you don't have the wherewithal to go out and be part of what's there, so go in and check on them.
I do feel loneliness in Ireland right now, because that's basically where it is. I'm in the country that is not my home. I do experience lots of loneliness in my temporary residence, mostly because, you see, there are very different people from very different parts of Ukraine, so sometimes we don't really get along. And because of that, you know, it's like one of my principles. I just try to find any way to go away from that feeling of loneliness, go to a pub at the weekend, or try to talk to new people in college.
Loneliness, even when you have lots of people around you, there you still feel so lonely. And I live in convent with 17 people, and they're lovely women, and we have 10 kids in this house, but still I feel like they're not my people. Very often we have nothing in common, just the war. It is complicated. Even cultural difference between Ukrainian and Irish. We are also different, but like we are the same skin color, the same religion, for example, and same values, but still we are different, and it takes lots of time for Ukrainians to adjust to Irish culture and society. And we are trying our best, but still, you know, always thinking about bad.
I don't really know as of right now what could really fix my loneliness. I would say changing places would fix that, because, you know, in different parts of Ireland there is a different culture, there is different way how people treat each other. And the place where I live right now is core town. There are not that many people of my age, to be honest.
One of the most important things that really cured my kids was the atmosphere at school, because, as I mentioned, Kilmacreach school has no problems with bullying at all. Maybe because of mentality. Because in Ukrainian schools, like, Ukrainians are very fighting people. We fight all the time with each other about everything, and we just needed to be alive. And kids are the same. They are small Ukrainians and they fight with each other all the time. But Irish kids are more mild and more, I don't know, peaceful. So it was easy to settle for them.
It depends. Now I can definitely say that it depends on the age. When kids are small, there's no problems for them to adjust. And the children who are older, it's more difficult because they had to leave everything they have and their friends. It's at the age 9 and teenagers, they have different values, friends, and they're so close, and this connection is lost, and sometimes it's so hard. And I'm sure that those children, they need psychological support, professional psychological support. They just need a person to talk to.
Moving to Ireland really did affect on relationships and friendships a lot. I have lost one of my closest people because of that, because I couldn't talk to that person face to face. I've lost lots of friends because they had different opinions on the politics and everything. So right now, this war basically sorted out good people from bad people. When all of this stuff happened, I felt absolutely horrible because those were my first relationships in my life. They were one of the most important things I had in my life, to be honest. And I was really killing myself inside, thinking about all of this stuff happening, blaming myself. But in the end, I actually understand that even though the whole situation is very bad, the war has basically shown who people really are, and it showed that this was a person that I couldn't really trust.
I miss my friends and everyone I love. Of course, like, you know, if I will live here for 3 years or 5 years, I don't know what will happen. But right now, I can't wait to go home.
Ukrainian women, they are so strong. They couldn't even imagine how strong they are. They can change the world. Just give them an opportunity. And my favorite phrase is like, be strong like Ukraine. It is so powerful, I think. And Ukrainian women are amazing. Really, even if they feel that they are dying inside, you will see them smiling all the time.
In every country, there is always a small percent of people who are not tolerant to strangers, and it is quite normal. Like, you know, we are social animals. So, but like, if you can't just be tolerant, because our cultures are so different and our mentality is so different, and sometimes, you know, we could seem rude or, you know, weird. But, you know, guys, we're just different. So please be patient.
Even though we Ukrainians are refugees in Ireland, you should still treat us more like people and as refugees only in the second place.
I just want to mention that Irish people are amazing. They're really amazing because there are lots of hosting families. They're hosting Ukrainians for long period of time, for 8-9 months, and their volunteers are amazing. I don't know how else can Irish people help. They do even more that they can.
I'm really thankful to Irish people for basically allowing us to stay, to giving lots of people a new future, new boundaries, new basically everything.
If I hadn't the support that I have in this community in Kilmacreach or the support that I have from Irish taxpayers, I would definitely die, you know. Just I wouldn't be able to pay my bills and just to take care of myself in this stressful situation. So, like, when you do it, you actually save lives and of us and our kids. So thank you guys